Buddy back into it. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going over the. No, we're not. I'm going to cough first. Excuse me. Today we're going to go over the Greater Phoenix Metropolitan Market statistics for the week ending August 10th. Let's see what we've got. 83 days closed on market this past week, a 6.25 month supply. Absorption rate was at 16.01. Average list price this past week, $699,800. Average sale price this past week, $607,197. And our list price to sale price retention came in at 97.20. Active inventory, about the same within 9 units, 24,253. Pending is sitting at 3,577, and closed units for the month of August, 1,127. Looking at new listings taken this past week, only 1,786 listings were taken, well below our desired norm. Days on market for active is sitting at 92 and for closed at 83. Looking at the price ranges down the lower left-hand side, this is active inventory. I should also use this moment to indicate that later today, look on your closed Facebook groups. You'll see the month-end report. That'll be coming out. And again, when you get to this slide on that report, this will be the closed production numbers by price range. But this is nice because it does let you see exactly what portions of the market did ebb and flow. Obviously, with the red is the contraction. Looking at 600,000 and up, it represents 68.65% of the entire MLS. 600,000 to a million is at 19.29, and $1 million and up is 12.06. So looking at the spreadsheet, we have 1,786 new listings taken this past week, 1,770. Look to the right a little more. This is where you get a chance to see last year, same week, 1,844. So we just fell a little bit behind. We've been doing really good in these numbers in comparison to last year. So a little bit of a dip we can handle. Hopefully it just won't continue. Looking at active inventory, we're at 24,253. Again, almost identical as it was last week. A couple of ebbs and flows in some of the other underlying portions of the market. Coming soon ebbed up just a little bit. Single family detached, again, 5 units, or 4 units. We look at new home construction took the hit. New non-distressed properties at 23,679. And again, looking at this versus last year, we were at 24,000 properties available. So we're about 300 or 400 below unit count where we would like to be. Pending we use as the sample of who's in the marketplace. Are there buyers in the marketplace? And we have counterpoint on this, because I was just talking to Justin with the Justin Fredericks group over at Fairway to my right. And, he was indicating that, it seemed a little slow. And then Mike and I were kind of like, well, the numbers were up for last week. So again, this is just one of those things. He's dealing with applications mostly and closings. And we're dealing with getting people that are excited and getting them out in the car, showing them homes, keeping that excitement so they actually perform and do and obtain all those prior to doc conditions so you can actually close the property. But 3,577, that was up about 60 people versus the week before. We were at 3,700 people in the marketplace last week. And again, if you slide your eyes over the blue just for a moment, because the numbers on the left, we're always seeing 3,500, rarely do we get into the fives. But you look over on the right-hand side and MLS's reported numbers, 4,787 is the numbers we're picking up for the end of the month in MLS. Last year, we were at 6,100. So the overall consensus is, we're still probably 1,000, maybe 1,400 fewer people in the marketplace at any one time, even though you see the reds and the greens on the left-hand part of this spreadsheet. If you're looking at it year over year, there's are significantly fewer buyers in the marketplace than there were last year. Looking at closed, we're sitting at 1127. This really doesn't have any effect on what's going on. It's way too early. Today's the 8th. We're going to be looking at our month-end numbers this afternoon, and that's really where these numbers are going to shine. Median sale price still in that 450 range. I mean, again, if you run your eyes to the right in the first blue column, but look at the second number, 449.9 last year, 2 years ago in June, or last year in June, you'll see that that was 450,000.
Did you just blow by the month supply number? Just we weren't going to stop and talk about that for a second?
No, because it's 8 days into the marketplace.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Not for me.
Well, not for your and my debate going on. And for that particular
ongoing debate.
For that particular purpose, Mike, I'm very excited about the fact that you recognize that.
I bet I pay attention.
Yeah, that you're paying attention at all. That's good. So 450 454,500 is where we're at. And that's a good thing because, again, prices are no longer really falling. What's happening is, if you're a good negotiator, sure, you're going to, to Mike's point, you can negotiate a reasonably good price if the home has been on the market for a while. If it isn't, then the story. I don't have to educate you on that. But inventory wise, statistical wise, we're in a relatively calm and stable marketplace. The numbers aren't really going on.
That's exactly what people ask me. I'm just saying we're just there, stable. It's not necessarily going up. It's not necessarily going down. It's just stable.
Yeah, and if somebody
consistent,
and if somebody has to sell because of a life event, they're probably more likely to give a discount on their price. So sometimes if you can ask the listing agent, they don't have to tell you because it's actually confidential information. But a lot of times they will by mistake. They'll just say, "Oh, they're relocating because of something." Why are they selling? And then the last number for today is the list price to sale price retention. And you can also see when this number drops a little bit, what that's basically saying is sellers were giving up a little more off the list price this past week. Now, that doesn't mean you go into every single property going less, because that we still don't know if there were concessions attached to whatever did close last week. So that's kind of the thing that why we really wait until the end of the month numbers, which you'll get later today. So please look for that on your close Facebook groups, and we'll give you a lot more detail and a lot more narrative on what the market's actually doing for last month.
All right, good stuff. Appreciate it. All right,